Good evening and welcome to another edition of WLN Radio. Earlier today, witnesses reported seeing a strange being at the abandoned apartments downtown. It was crawling on all fours. One witness says its face was all mangled and its skin was an ash gray color. Another witness states, as of this week, there has been more reportings of people going missing. Many of them were last seen walking downtown near the abandoned apartments. WLN suggests that no one walk near the abandoned apartments after 8 a.m., or you'll be next on the missing persons list.
Next up, a very long and thin line appeared in the sky, Thursday around 4 p.m. Some people think it's yet again an opening to another dimension. As of right now, we have a team of researchers trying to figure out what it is and where it came from. Thus far, we have seen portals in and at City Hall and in the Rains High School theater attic. Wait, that's just in. Our researchers have found out that the line in the sky is indeed a portal to another dimension. They acquired this while they were researching a loud noise coming from the sky, and a giant hand fell through the opening and had crashed into the ground. Scientists are now conducting experiments on the giant hand to see if there's anything us humans could use to our advantage. Additionally, there have been several people coming into WLN saying that they saw the UFO that was hovering around the sinkhole abducting people near the portal before the hand emerged.
In further news, today we'll be talking about the anomaly that has shown up in the weight room. Yesterday, around 3:42 p.m., a medium-sized supernatural portal appeared in the center of the room, halting practices immediately. People who were standing next to it were sucked into the void. They reappeared in the portal in the RHS theater room attic. The students who were teleported have lost their memory over the last few days, but are said to make a full recovery. Experts advise that you do not enter the weight room until it has it contained. If you need something from there, contact a professional. Nobody knows if it is harmful or not yet, but we have noticed that 2 of the football coaches have gone missing after entering said room. Football practices will be delayed until further notice at the Rains High School. We have a statement from an eyewitness.
It was after 7th period. Me and my friend were just heading out to grab something that she forgot. She walked in and never came back out. I left thinking nothing of it, and honestly I didn't want to be late to class, but there's still no sight of her,
Said Colton Mott.
I heard she walked out of the theater room closet a few minutes later. That's halfway across the campus.
As we continue to investigate further, you should continue to stray away from this building entirely. Thank you, Wildcats.
Hello, Wildcats. Today we have a shocking new development with the Rains High School theater ghost. It appears to have been made unhappy by some students. We believe these students hid its fake skull, which appears to be a prop for its favorite play. We believe it has moved out into the cafeteria and has begun harassing students during A and B lunches, but sometimes returns and can be heard back on stage and apron presiding lines. We have a few eyewitnesses to the ghost harassment.
I have zero idea what's going on. But I was talking to my buddy for a few seconds and my lunch tray got thrown clear across the room. I really liked that food and didn't even get a bite of it. My buddy said that it had to be the ghost from the stage. My buddy called it the spooky. He's not that good with names. I'm just mad about my food.
We encourage the person or persons responsible to come forward and take their punishment before the theater ghost gets more angry. We advise you not to eat in the pit until this issue has been resolved. Until next time, Wildcats.
Update on Lake Fork situation. A phenomenon which witnesses have described as a whirling aquatic vortex has appeared in the middle of Lake Fork. The whirlpool effect appears perpetual and unchanging. Eyewitness Alec Redwood, who claims to have been out on the water during its initial formation, had this to say on the matter.
I'm just out in the water no more than a week ago, all by my lonesome, mind you. And all of a sudden, my boat starts rocking, starts drifting to the left. Next thing you know, I'm trapped in the swirling vortex, and I remember thinking, man, Poseidon done claimed my soul.
Redwood then added, as an afterthought, that the vortex had been accompanied by terrifying wailing, not unlike that of a whale's. Scientists are checking to see if yet another portal has appeared under the lake.
In a possibly related story, there have been more than a dozen reports of a strange man standing around Lake Fork after the vortex appeared. What is this suspicious man reported doing, you might ask? Well, he's fishing. That's right, fishing. This mysterious man is going around from place to place just fishing. While he's fishing, he is also blasting songs from the bands from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The strange man seems to be wearing gray tank tops, khaki shorts, socks, and sandals. He has a cooler filled with cans and a speaker next to it. When onlookers approach the man, he says the same thing. They are coming. Turn back now. All things are coming to an end. The fisherman would then fade away and then relocate to another part of the lake. His face always seems to be obscured and no one seems to recognize him. If you talk to this man, contact WLN Radio as soon as possible.
We just got another report on the phantom cowboy roaming the hills in Heritage Park. The Phantom Cowboy roams the hills at around 5 p.m. to midnight most nights. Eyewitnesses saw this ghostly cowboy at Heritage Park walking amongst the houses at the scene. V. Bevins, an eyewitness, states that she can recall an abduction by this ghostly ghoul.
I believe it was 9 p.m. when I saw this phantom cowboy walk towards our tour group touring the old houses in Heritage Park. And then out of nowhere, the phantom snatched a kid up. I went to intervene, and him and the kid kind of just disappeared into thin air. I used to not believe in ghosts or the paranormal, but now I 100% believe.
We have another eyewitness. Andrea Young, tell me what you saw.
Me and my friend Will were walking around the Heritage Park area at 7 p.m. when out of nowhere the Phantom Cowboy appeared and took a little kid who looked to be around 4 to 5 years old, put him on the back of his horse, and rode off a few feet before disappearing into thin air. When I told Will to stay put so I could investigate the scene, but I couldn't spot any signs of the ghostly figure. As I turned around to check if Will was still there, I noticed that Will was nowhere to be found. So I started looking everywhere for him, but no avail. So I went back to where I'd told Will to stay, and I noticed a little note that said I was taken by the Phantom Cowboy. So I called the Emory Police Department to report a missing persons case, but they said there was nothing they could do.
Scientists say that this cowboy has escaped the Heritage Park phenomenon where the location comes alive late at night. No one knows how the cowboy escaped. Well, Wildcats, you heard it here first. Keep your kids away from Heritage Park from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. If you or your loved ones see this Phantom Cowboy, turn the other way and hightail it back to your vehicle.